Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Lara and I am the Network Manager here for Wildscreen. Welcome to today's webinar where we will be discussing the upcoming Wildscreen Festival, which is approaching very rapidly. For those new to our webinars, the format will follow a 40-minute conversation and then there'll be time at the end for any questions. So if you have any questions along the way for the team, please pop them in the Q&A box and we will get to these at the end of the webinar. So today it is my privilege to be joined by Sue, the head of the Wildscreen Events, Millie, the Wildscreen Festival Manager, and Gabby, our Wildscreen Awards and Film Programme Coordinator. The team will be on hand to give an insight into what to expect from this year's Wildscreen Festival, as well as to answer any questions you may have. So welcome to everybody and thank you for joining us today. How is everybody?
Good.
That's to you three.
Talking to the audience.
Oh dear. So and now that you're all alive and ready for this, I'm going to start by going to Sue. So I know we have a lot to get through in a short time, so I just thought it's better to fire some questions at you. So Sue, I'll start with you. Can you give us an overview of the festival and a kind of its brief history, please?
Okay, so we are celebrating 40 years of the Wildscreen Festival, so we feel like it's a very, very special festival this year. Because in 1982, Christopher Parsons founded the Wildscreen Festival to start with. And it was only a couple of years later that the actual charitable offering through archive and wildlife film history was formed afterwards. And now, of course, in our modern day, we do a lot of work around inclusivity and diversity and outreach work and working with lots of NGOs and other charitable organisations, so we're a much bigger organisation now. But our roots are very much embedded within the wild film history, and the festival is a very important part of our 2-year programme. It happens every other year. So for us, working on the festival started a good 18 months ago, not long after the last festival finished, which was our virtual festival, our first virtual festival. And so because of the success of that virtual festival, this year we are producing a hybrid festival. But for now, I'm just going to focus on the live aspect, and then I'll come to the hybrid nature of the event later. But so we're taking over 2 venues in central Bristol for the main aspects of the session, main aspects of the festival. And these will be the Grand Hotel, will house 2 auditoriums, the Attenborough Auditorium and the Parsons Theatre, as a nod to both Sir David Attenborough, who has been a friend of Wildscreen and a big supporter of Wildscreen and obviously a patron for the last 40 years. And Christopher Parsons, who actually founded Wildscreen itself. And in these 2 auditoriums, we'll be showing masterclasses and sessions and some amazing headliners. You might have seen some of them already go out, and Millie will talk later about some of the programme. And then in the Bristol Harbour Hotel, we have our Wildscreen Networking Hub, which houses our trade show, but all our networking aspects. So our networking drinks every evening, and then on the Friday we've got talent dating that happens in there. But really it is a place to come and meet and rub shoulders with the great and the good of the wildlife film industry within Bristol and beyond, because we must remember this is a global festival. So we have people coming from all over the world. The speakers are from all over the world. We're very excited. And we are jam-packed full of content. We can't wait to get started.
You're on mute, Lara.
Sorry, you've powered through a lot of my questions, which is great. One that I was just going to ask about. So I know a lot of people, I recognise a lot of names, and they may have been to Wildscreen Festival before, but for those that haven't actually been to Wildscreen, what can people kind of expect?
Well, I think there's a lot of new things about this particular festival. So we've got a buddy system taken through an emerging talent stream. So any of you guys out there who are emerging talent, breaking into the industry, wanting to meet new friends, new employers, and then come along, because we have got a couple of buddies who will be looking after you from the start, and not just our emerging talent, but we've got many, many bursaries sponsored by Aurum and Nat Geo, and Noof, who are based in Durban, are sending a group of bursary candidates over. So we're very excited about that. But equally, what you'll see this time as well is we were more often than not based on the water side. This time we've come into the real old part of Bristol. We're right by St. Nicholas's Market, so people can go out and get all their vegan food, which is what our focus will be at the festival as well. But equally, we're moving around Bristol with our official screenings. We've got them in the Cube and the IMAX, and then we've got premiere screenings in Cine Deluxe. And then on Friday, we are very excited. We've got a whole of content on Friday being filmed and in live person event at the BBC new studio, which is brilliant space, very, very modern, interactive space. So we're very excited about using that.
Amazing. It's definitely going to be a very exciting year. And you kind of mentioned hybrid festival. So what does a hybrid festival entail?
Well, firstly, really to give you a bit of insight into why we are producing a hybrid festival. And in 2020, we did our first ever virtual festival, which was hugely successful. We had nearly 2,000 attendees. And it was one of our most diverse festivals to date. And we thought, well, you know, we can't turn our back on that community that we've engaged with and built on since our 2020 festival. And it's very important to us that everybody gets a chance to network, everybody gets their voice heard. So it was important that we made sure we produced a festival that was also accessible to people who might not be able to come to Bristol. So the hybrid nature is not just for attendees, it's also for speakers and presenters who can't make it to Bristol. Many of the sessions will have one person streaming in virtually, which is brilliant, you know. So again, it not only saves on the carbon footprint, but equally, you know, we've already sold so many virtual tickets, and people can go on and watch content afterwards. So we've got 2 streams running at any one time. So don't think for a minute that if you miss one stream, you're in one auditorium. That night when you get home, you'll be able to watch the pieces of the sessions and the pieces of content that you missed because you chose something else. And you'll be able to access that right up to the middle of December.
Amazing. So yeah, lots. I know we've seen the content plan. There's so much going on. So yeah, I don't know anyone. There's enough content to keep going till Christmas. So
yeah, absolutely.
And in terms of sustainability, how are Wildscreen making this year's festival sustainable?
All sorts of things, and the girls can chip in here. Well, first of all, as I say, by producing a hybrid event, it means that people, you know, don't have to come if they don't want to. I have to say, there is a huge buzz about the live element of the event. You know, we didn't expect the amount of sponsors that we've got, for example, that we've attracted are all so excited about coming in person. The presenters all want to come in person. We originally thought we were going to do a stream on just a virtual event on Friday. But there's so many people want to come in person. That's why we are creating the live event on Friday as well. But other things, we're urging everybody that comes to bring their own cups and water bottles, that sort of thing. We are, what else?
We'll be doing plant-based food throughout the festival as well to reduce our environmental impact.
Yeah.
I think as well in terms of the ticketing, we've incorporated a portion of carbon offsetting as part of the ticket price. So it means that anyone who purchases a ticket to Wildscreen Festival, your sort of experience as a delegate will be kind of paid to offset. Obviously, we recommend if you're traveling over, flying in, or kind of driving over, also to kind of consider offsetting your own travel as well, just to make sure that we're celebrating the natural world and we're not negatively impacting it at the same time.
Absolutely, and use public transport on walk. You know, if you're Bristol based, please walk. But other aspects that people will into the festival before. So this year we are using a lot of sustainable signage, for example. Light boxes that we can use, change on a daily basis rather than get hordes and hordes of signage produced. And we are having an app. We've got an app for the festival, so we're not doing any printed documents at all. There'll be screens everywhere with the programme, lots of volunteers around. We're also making use of our stage set. So in the past, we've gone to a completely different venue for our Panda Awards. And this year we are making use of the stage set that we're using during the day, and it will look very different in the evening, but it means that we're not producing something completely different for the Panda Awards itself.
Yeah, lots of sustainable. Any more? I'm sure there's lots more.
I know. The tote bags. So we're only producing tote bags or t-shirts on demand. We're not going to have hordes and hordes of dead stock. Thank you. Yeah.
The festival pass badges will be fully recyclable as well.
Lots. So yeah, covered. I think everything that we can. But you know, if anyone's got any questions or suggestions of any more that we can do, because as well, we're always looking to learn for future festivals as well. So we're not going to be able to do everything, but we're doing everything that we can for now.
And also we are, you know, if there are things that you think is easy to fix now and do on the day, we're always welcome to suggestions. And as you say, it's a huge learning process, and event by event we'll just get better and better.
Great. Well, I think you can step down now, Sue. We're going to pass on to some of the other team, give them a chance. But thank you very much. I know you guys are all busy, so really appreciate the time. So now I will go over to Millie, who is our festival manager. Millie, can you just kind of talk through a sort of overview of the festival and what people can expect in terms of the kind of content?
Yeah, so last week we did do a big announcement, our first big announcement of the programme, and there will be another one coming at the end of next week, so do keep your eyes peeled for that. But in terms of the festival programmes, as Sue mentioned, there will be masterclasses, sessions, headline speakers, commissioner clinics. There'll be lots of opportunities for networking throughout the week, particularly taking place in the hub in the San Sabino room, which is by Laura, so you can find her there. And alongside that, there's also the kit show that's going to be there until Thursday, and there will be obviously the screenings taking place throughout the week as well, which Gabby will talk about more in due course. But yes, and the Panda Awards as well. There's so much going on. But yeah, I mean, do check out the programme that's available online. As I say, lots more updates to come and some exciting announcements coming too. So yeah, make sure that you follow us on all the social media platforms and sign up to our newsletter so you hear first.
And I will share after this webinar, I'll share details of that link of the content plan of where to find it. And then for those that don't follow us on socials, I'll just do a kind of reminder of what our social channels are, because it is definitely worth keeping an eye on those, because that's where all the kind of latest updates will come through. So in terms of the kind of people that will be joining online, how will the festival work for them, Millie?
Yeah, so everyone that is either a full hybrid pass holder or a virtual delegate will be able to access the online platform. as will all day ticket holders as well for their respective day. So in the next couple of weeks, so once you've signed on, you'll receive an email from our event platform in a few weeks' time when that's ready and live, and then you'll be encouraged to create a login. So then you'll be able to log into that event platform, and from doing that as well, you'll be able to access the app as well. On the event platform, you'll have opportunities for speed networking as well. That's exclusive to the online platform element. And we'll have a full breakdown of all the speakers with details about them, all the sessions. And then speaking about the app, you'll be able to create your own personal agenda. So you'll see the program and then have that opportunity to pick off ones that you want to make sure you attend and keep an eye on. So you'll have all the details there for your personal agenda.
Great. And then you've kind of mentioned the app. I know that it's kind of launch date. We're still kind of working on all the details. I don't know anyone on this webinar that has tried to launch a new app. It takes a lot of work. So we're still kind of working through all the details, but can you kind of talk through what's expected to be on that app?
Yeah, so essentially it works as our alternative to having a printed program. So as Sue said, there will be lots of signage around and lots of screens showing the daily outline, but the app also gives you an opportunity to have that program in your pocket, essentially. So again, you can refer to what's going on where, and refer back to your own program.
Great. Almost through with your questions, Millie, we're good. And then I know that obviously to make Wildscreen work, we're a relatively small team, but we rely on our kind of wonderful volunteers. So can you kind of talk a bit about their role and kind of who to look out for at the festival in terms of volunteers?
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't do it without our fantastic volunteers, and we were absolutely overwhelmed by the response that we got when we put up the applications. So we've got a fantastic group of volunteers that are going to be there throughout the week to help delegates with any questions. You'll see them wearing the Wildscreen Festival t-shirts for this festival, so they'll be easily recognizable. So they'll be on hand to answer any queries you have. But they'll be doing a huge range of roles. So helping with our speakers, greeting on the door and signing people in, registering them and printing out their passes. Yeah, I mean, all sorts, helping during the screenings and doing the roving lights as well. But yeah, we're so grateful to our volunteers and their help throughout the week.
In total, I think we've got over 60, including the virtual volunteers as well.
Yeah, so not only will we have the volunteers in the room at the live festival, we'll have a group of volunteers doing it virtually as well. So they'll be looking after the virtual platform.
Great. Yeah, it all sounds very exciting. I can't believe that it's less than a month. In a month, it'll all be over. Crazy. So now I just want to kind of hand over to Gabby, who will talk through the kind of Panda and Official Selection Awards and the awards ceremony that we've got, and everything Panda Official Selection. She is our kind of guru. So I will hand this over to Gabby.
Hi, thanks, Laura. So yeah, I'm Gabby, I'm the awards coordinator. I look after film competitions that kind of, and photography as well, that sit at the heart of Wildscreen Festival. As Sue mentioned before, they are integral to the history. So the Panda Awards started back in 1982. And each year, every 2 years, we gather together to celebrate the very best of natural world storytelling and the craft of wildlife filmmaking and photography as well, through the Panda Awards. So at the moment, we've got our fantastic nominees announced. You can have a look through them on our website. We're in the middle of judging at the moment, which is really exciting, and it's going to be really exciting to reveal the winners at the Panda Awards ceremony on Thursday. It's Thursday the 15th of October, and so that's going to be a really big glitzy ceremony. We've got some fantastic presenters along, who I don't think I can talk about yet, but you'll all be really excited to see who they are. And that's just a really fantastic opportunity for us to celebrate storytellers who've gone above and beyond to craft amazing original stories for us over the past 2 years. So if you want to come along to that, you have to buy a ticket. So it's separate to the festival tickets. They're up on Eventbrite now. But if you perhaps would fancy something a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more, cheaper, somewhere to let your hair down, we've also got a great Panda Awards party that's happening, sort of a live stream to the ceremony, so you can watch who's winning as they win, and it will also be the after party. So everyone who's been at the Panda Awards ceremony will get to go over to the Harbour Hotel. So definitely have a look on Eventbrite and look for tickets for those if you want to be partying with the winners and nominees on Thursday. So yeah, that's the Panda Awards sort of wrapped up. We also have a separate competition which was introduced in 2020 called the official selection. Wildscreen brought this about because we wanted another opportunity to recognise authentic voices and original storytelling. Not necessarily productions that have the most budget or the sort of best equipment, but they have a really powerful story at the heart. And our official selection also works to recognise films and immersive productions, whether it's short or VR. So we're really lucky to have hosted that again this year. We had a fantastic team of six programmers all across the world, really amazing experiences, who helped us select from all of the hundreds of entries we had down to a top 32 productions. So obviously we can't screen all 32 during the festival week as much as we'd like to, but we have been able to programmers handpicked 8 different films that we feel like you guys really need to see during sort of 10th to the 15th of October. And those films are a really interesting array of different stories from about 7 different countries. So it's a really truly international range of stories. And tickets for all of those can be booked on Eventbrite. If you already have a festival pass, you can get in touch with us and we can book your tickets in. You don't need to pay for the screening if you are a festival delegate, because we've got some tickets set aside for you. So yeah, definitely check those out. Lara will be sending around a link afterwards to all 6 of those screenings. In addition, we have another screening that we will be revealing shortly, but we are on the Wednesday evening taking over the big screen at Millennium Square. So I don't know if you've ever been to We the Curious at Bristol Science Museum, but they've got a massive square and cinema screen that's open to the public. So we're going to be welcoming everyone along to come and watch a very interesting production with us, and hopefully we'll get some of the filmmakers there. So that will be announced shortly. And alongside all of the exciting screenings, you can also take a stroll down to College Green, and we've got a really cool photography exhibition up. It will be up from 13th of September all the way to the end of October, and that will feature some of our amazing photo story nominees. So if you really enjoy powerful visual imagery of flying fruit bats or chimpanzees, then I definitely recommend planning some time out of the festival week to go and have a stroll around College Green. And I think that's everything for me.
Yeah, and I think as well, we would just, whilst you were chatting there, Gabby, it's really important to know that the festival is for the public as well. It's not just for the industry. So all those screenings, the public can go along to. We've got outreach sessions that are happening at the BBC with local schools. We're working with other NGOs and charities to do outreach sessions with some of our sponsors using their cameras. And I'd also really like to just make the point with the award ceremonies, the Panda Awards ceremony and the celebration of the official selection. It's whilst they are fantastic celebratory events, it's really important that we celebrate the industry. I feel they're really empowering events as well for younger people, for the emerging talent coming through and who might be finding it difficult at the moment, can listen to, the stories of they were all those award winners we're all in the shoes of emerging talent at some point in their career. And I think it's a really good way of empowering young people or new people to the industry and showing them what they can do and what they can achieve with hard work and commitment and passion.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I will share details of how to kind of get your tickets and the different locations that we've got various screenings. I'll share all the kind of details as a follow-up to this webinar, so everyone's got the links to that. And as you say, if you want to come to the Panda Awards, you can. If you want to just come to the kind of screening awards, you can come to both. Just come to it all. That's probably the best thing. And so now I just want to quickly kind of also discuss, so we've obviously got the talks, masterclasses, various different kind of panel sessions going on, and they will be mainly hosted at the Grand Hotel, but then also at the Bristol Harbour Hotel. That will be our kind of main networking and sort of trade hub. So we've got some brilliant exhibitors that will be kind of showcasing the newest kit, technologies. So it's definitely worth kind of coming along there, having a look at all the kind of kit that they've got on display and talking to the teams. But then also that room will be brilliant for kind of networking, but also the festival is going to be full on. There's so much going on. It's just a place just to kind of catch your thoughts, kind of plan your day as well. We'll have a kind of big screen up so you can see what's on during that day, but there'll be various tables set up. We're also going to have charging stations, because by using the app and by planning your day, your phone will then probably die. So we're kind of looking to get all of that, and that will be in that San Savino room at the Bristol Harbour Hotel. So it will be a good opportunity. You can also meet people, whether it's in kind of groups. One thing that we're also kind of pushing for is almost a kind of buddy system. So if there's people that are looking to come to the festival on their own and they're kind of slightly nervous about coming to something like this on their own, we're all very kind of friendly, and we'll do everything we can to kind of partner you up or introduce you to people. And so don't be afraid to kind of, if you've not been to this kind of festival before, or you know, you've got people that are like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to come on your own, come and explore it. I think that it's exciting. The industry and everyone in the industry is very friendly, so you'll make new friends and connections. And so I would suggest kind of coming along, and if you're not sure where to start, come out to the kind of, come and meet me. I'll be at the San Savino room, and so you can come and introduce yourself and then talk through the program. If there's things that you want to see, brilliant, and we can discuss that, and it'll be great. And then also a new kind of element of Wildscreen this year is we are introducing global hubs. So the importance of these is to kind of spread the Wildscreen kind of festival into different locations, but also make it accessible to people that can't come to Bristol. So at the minute we have hubs in Bangalore in India, in Nairobi in Kenya, and then in Cape Town in South Africa. And so the idea of these hubs is they're all operating slightly differently, but they're all offering something to the kind of local communities, and the content that we're providing will be more kind of focused on relevant content for those countries. So we've been sponsored by various different companies for each of the hubs, which is brilliant. And yes, so if you've got people that you know that are based in any of those areas, then please feel free to kind of pass the message on, and tickets for those will be going on sale soon. As I say, just keep an eye on our social platforms. That's where all the kind of buzz and information will be over the kind of coming weeks as we draw closer. And then also from the network point of view, I just wanted to touch on a few events that we've got lined up for our kind of Wildscreen network community. On the Monday night of the festival, we will be having a kind of networking session. So anyone that has got a Monday day pass or a full hybrid pass will be invited to this as well. But it's more of a kind of exclusive and a cheaper way for network members to be able to be part of the festival. So they can join. The tickets are available now. I will send the links through, but that will be on the Monday, the 10th of October, and that will be at the Bristol Harbour Hotel in the San Spino room between 6:30 and 8 p.m. So I will send details through. And then we're also just finalising what we're calling a talent speed dating with various different talent managers and kind of talent resourcing people from various different production companies, post-production, talent agencies, and it will be a kind of speed dating style. But what we're trying to do is to harness the information from the production companies of what roles they're looking for, and then any people that are joining that, what's really important for us is to kind of hear from you what roles you want to do, and then we're going to pair people up so it's a bit more kind of suitable, so you're not speaking to somebody that's just looking for a researcher if they've only got producer director roles. So we're going to do all the kind of work on that, and that will be on the Friday morning of the festival. And again, it will just be a chance to kind of come along to the festival, be part of it for a kind of reduced fee, because we're very aware some of the emerging talent audience that we've got can't necessarily afford a full hybrid pass, and so we're looking at different ways that we can help and kind of keep the kind of engagement of those people. So I think that's come to our kind of overall the team has been talking about. So now I know we've had a few questions in, so I'll just go to the questions and probably fire them to you guys over. We're in separate offices just for Zoom in one office just doesn't work. So it's not that, you know, I've been shunted out and I wasn't allowed in that room. Oh, I'm in witness protection. It's just the way that we've had to work for this Zoom webinar. So Anita, hello Anita, has asked if there will be a printable PDF copy of the programme. I think we've kind of answered that by saying we're not doing any printing, but the information will be available on the app. I'm right.
Absolutely. It's not only will it be available on the app, but obviously it's always available on our website. And then on a day-to-day basis, we've got screens all over. Got the 2 auditoriums will have ongoing updates of programs. We have light boxes throughout both venues with ongoing program updates and big screens. There's a big screen in the networking area as well. So there'll always be somewhere within the venues. And of course, you can create your own schedule on your app as well.
Perfect. And then another one from Anita. She is asking when the delegate list will be made available to freelancers so they can arrange meetings.
So we'll be starting to share the delegate list from the end of this week. It will just be names, job titles and organisations because we're unable to share contact information. But once the event platform is live and invited to that, we'll be able to search and start making connections with other delegates via that platform. So even in advance.
So it's a great networking platform that we've chosen. And we've chosen this particular platform because it allows all our virtual attendees to network with people who might be there live. And then as Millie was saying, the trade show, for example, can talk to anyone they want, hold meetings, hold virtual meetings, hold live meetings, all through the platform.
Great. And then, sorry, that was from Bolly. This one is from Anita again. When and where do you register and collect your festival badges?
Okay. Yeah, so on the Sunday evening, we're going to be opening registration early, probably from about 6 o'clock on the Sunday evening at the Grand Hotel. It'll be very easy to find. We'll have volunteers around and you can come and pick your passes up early. The passes then will also be available there all day on the Monday. And then on the Tuesday morning, they'll be available from the Networking Hub, from the registration help desk.
Perfect. And Chris has asked, could you give me an idea about how the virtual networking would work?
Yeah, go on you.
So as I say, there will be speed networking sessions. At the same time, the in-person networking events are taking place. There will be, I think, half an hour slot for anyone on the online platform, they can just jump in and do some networking, speed networking, so 3 minutes. And you can also, so you'll be recommended particular people when you register and log on to the site the first time. You'll be able to fill out a form that essentially there's like what you're interested in, making connections, people's areas of work, for example, make connections in the field. So then will be, recommended certain people that work in the area. So yeah, there'll be that on the online platform and kind of pointing you in certain directions, people that it would be good to make connections with. But also, as I say, you'll be able to search for them.
So if you think like LinkedIn, but for the specific event, for the festival. So that sort of thing where you get names pop up, do you want to connect with? Same sort of situation.
And then you have the option to share your email address as well.
But you won't just get bombarded. You can choose who you want to actually link up with.
Yeah.
You don't get randoms. It's not going to be. Okay, and so Magdalena has asked, will the volunteers be able to join these sessions as well? She's joining as an events assistant and would love to join Monday's networking session if possible.
Absolutely. So all of our festival volunteers get a full festival pass. So our fabulous new volunteer coordinator, Jacob, is to get the rota for all of the volunteers. And there are particular sessions we will try where we can to accommodate that you can at least, be in the room for that session, even if you are, helping do the lights, so you get that experience. But yeah, when the volunteers aren't doing a shift at the festival, they're very welcome and encouraged to go off and enjoy the festival, and enjoy the networking, various of the talk sessions, headlines.
Perfect. And then Susan asks, is there a number of allocations for each session? And will she need to book sessions early?
There's a real mix actually. So there are some RSVP sessions for sure. And these will all be announced as part of the programme. And if you go onto Eventbrite, there's information on there as well. But I'd say keep your eyes open. Main sessions within the auditorium, both auditoriums, you don't need to book for, but we do have some specials coming out that you will need to book your place. And so the sooner the better.
Great. And then Jack has said, as someone coming solo, interested in the buddy option, come and hang out with me. Come to the San Savino at the Harbour Hotel. You'll be bored of my face. But yeah, kind of hang out, and there'll be various different team members that are around, and it won't just be that's it, you can't leave that venue. It will be a kind of talking through of what there's options for on the day that you're there, what you're interested in, and then if there's people around at that point to say, right, okay, go over to the Grand, and we'll kind of, the locations of the hotels, if people haven't been to Bristol or know the venue, it's literally walking distance between the two kind of main venues.
I'd say less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really easy to kind of get to the two venues. So that's why it's really good as the kind of networking hub and just kind of sorting yourself out, and then it will be kind of lots of activity going on over at the Grand. So it's good to just come and kind of plan your day as such, and kind of meet with people and use the kind of networking space at the San Savino exactly for that. But yeah, we will be sending around some details. So again, just keep an eye on our socials, but yeah, the buddy option will very much be available. So hopefully we can help with that. And then Susan has just asked, as a coordinator, can I, as a coordinator, pick up my passes for her team?
Yes, yes. We're going to anyone who wants to come up their group and get their group passes beforehand, and it should come on the Sunday evening for sure.
Perfect. And then also she would like to know more about the Bristol delegates list.
It'll be one delegate list, as mentioned earlier, towards the end, well, after the end of this week, so early next week, we'll be producing those delegate lists.
Perfect. And then down to our last couple of questions. So you've got time for any more questions, but if not, we're all available. So it's not like if no one has answered their questions after this webinar, that's it. Questions are shut for the Wildscreen Festival 2022. Laura has asked, when will the app be available?
It's coming. Laura said, yeah, it takes longer than you think to develop an app. It's quite a complex thing, but it will, as soon as that's available to log on, delegates will be sent details to do that. But it is coming.
Yeah, keep an eye, like we're going to be doing sort of regular updates on socials and probably mail outs, so just keep an eye on all the kind of Wildscreen content over the next couple of weeks, and just I would keep checking through, because I know how socials work, and it might be that you've kind of missed an update on a kind of Instagram story or something. Just keep kind of refreshing. But I would go to, the team are just going to get busier and busier as the kind of festival looms closer and closer. So from kind of our point of view, I think it will be easier if people check on the socials first, and then if they can't find the information there or on our kind of main Wildscreen Festival webpage, then they come to us. But most of the information, we have a questions section on the festival page. We have all the kind of the content information that we've got at the minute is up there. We have all the kind of speakers that we've announced are on the program page. So just kind of get familiar with all of that, because you will probably get the information quicker just from spending a bit of time on the website than some of the team as it gets closer to the festival, when we're all a bit so that would be my suggestion. But if there is no more questions, I think I've gone through everything. There were a few that came through in the chat, but I think we've answered all of those. But if there are any kind of specifics, drop the easiest email, I would say, I think, guys, is it their hello inbox to send their questions to? Because that's kind of monitored full time. So I would send your questions into there. But
I would say check first, because that box is going to get very full with ticket inquiries. So we won't have time to go to questions that we know the answers there on the website. And we do have frequently asked questions on our Eventbrite page as well. So please go through those first. And if you still don't know the answer, then do come to us.
Yeah. Great. So I think that is everything that we've covered today. A big thank you to Sue, Millie and Gabby. I mean, it's so busy in Wildscreen HQ at the minute, so even like 45 minutes to an hour of their time is a huge ask. So thank you very much. Hopefully this webinar has given you an insight into what we have planned for the 40th anniversary. And as I say, if you do have any questions, send those through to the hello inbox, but keep them, check the website first. I will follow up this email and send through all the links that we've discussed to things like the program, the ticket information, Panda Awards, all of that will be on the email. And from the Wildscreen networking point of view, obviously we don't have our normal networking monthly meetup, because our monthly meetup will be at the festival. So the next Wildscreen networking event will be on Monday the 10th of October at the Bristol Harbour Hotel in the San Savina room between 6:30 and 8. So tickets are available for this, and I will send this round. So I hope everyone has a lovely week, and hopefully see you on one of our future webinars, but more importantly, hope we see you in some form at the Wildscreen Festival in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, please book, get your tickets booked.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much to the team, and thank you everybody for joining us. And just for those, I know that there's various questions come in. This session has been recorded, and it will be kind of edited down, and hopefully we'll get it onto the Wildscreen network, or sorry, the Wildscreen Festival page next week. It will be on the network site as well. But so share with any colleagues or friends that weren't able to make it, and just let them know that this will be available. Or if you just want to watch it back, you can do that as well, completely up to you. But thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to the team in the other room. And we will see you hopefully at Wildscreen Festival. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.